back. One more game to put this day behind us, and one team going to be dropping out right here and right now. Fnatic dropping down after losing their series. Of course, the same true of Alliance as they fell to Vici. Fnatic really looked like they were just going to be a struggling team who would quietly take their exit, but they showed us something a little bit different thanks to Dota Demon and his own Shadow Fiend play. What was it you called, a Swagger Fiend?
Swagger Fiend.
Swagger Fiend.
They don't have anything to lose. That's when you just go with things that you like to play, and
exactly.
you get in your comfort zone and
have some fun.
Definitely seemed like he was having fun.
Just like your high school coach used to tell you, go have some fun, kids. It's fine.
Participation award.
Exactly. Honorable mention. But we can see Fnatic and Alliance already moving through the draft. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Alliance, they've got it. Like, if I was in Alliance's shoes, I can't help but think I would be a little nervous because, like you said, Fnatic's playing on borrowed time now. They're playing on house money, to use a little Vegas parlance. And
Dota terms, too.
Exactly. And, you know, Alliance right now, they're snagging up the very quick Nature's Prophet for Admiral Bulldog, so we'll get to see him on a signature hero. But Fnatic, it wouldn't shock me at all if they just went back to the well a second time. Maybe they grab a Shadow Fiend. Maybe they just go ahead and get Demon some other hero he loves to play.
I think they need... they just need to play around Alliance's picks. So they just completely took advantage of Dragon Knight, took complete advantage of Clockwork is very unlikely going to rotate from the lane too. And the supports were needed to talk to babysit the Lifestealer, or else Elder Titan would get a lot of farm too. So they kind of knew how Alliance was going to play, and they just had a correct solution for them at every stage of the game too. Lifestealer with free farm is just not going to be able to farm at the same pace as a Shadow Fiend. And Shadow Fiend is one of the few heroes that can just man up versus them, especially when you get an HOD with that amount of armor and minus armor on your side. There's no way that he can stand a chance, especially without a basher. Yeah,
and it really was a team effort on that. I mean, we talked to Jimmy a little bit in between games.
He was smiling.
Yes, he was. He was very happy.
He was beaming.
He was. And but yeah, I mean, a lot of stacking and making space for him, making sure that he got high priority kills. And S4 really just never had a chance in that game. I mean, he finished 0-7, 0-8.
Yeah, but what can he do?
Right,
he dodged a smoking early, and then after that, they just kept killing him over and over, and Shadow Fiend just got bigger and bigger and bigger. I think Fnatic needed to, Alliance needed to respond a little bit better. Either keep him with Loda earlier, just use Infest Bomb because he was level 6 very, very early, and just counter gank a little bit better because you're not going to win the farm more, especially when they stack like 3 or 4 camps at once, especially with the extra creep from Helmet Dominator. They don't actually need to be there with their heroes to stack.
Doom going to be the second pickup for Fnatic, and Doom works well. I mean, it gets pretty much everyone. I mean, it's hard to argue with a long-ass duration silence in terms of being able to counter a hero. Nature's Prophet, though, one who especially suffers to that, especially if you see the Doom build a mobility item, having a blink Doom, and make sure that a Shadow Blade Nature's Prophet and so on and so forth is not going to be able to escape your clutches. Makes him play a little bit more soft in terms of risk-taking and trying to split push. But, you know, and we talked about this earlier today when we saw a Doom pick. You know, getting an early Doom pick out, it actually narrows your opponent's options. I mean, they're going to see that hero, and there's just some heroes that maybe they would pick otherwise that they just know are confounded so badly by Doom that they put themselves in an already disadvantaged position picking into it.
Yep. Doom we saw used by LGD China, I believe, but aside from that, he is just not extremely popular. I've seen him pick now and then. He is a pretty strong hero. He is very flexible lane too. I've seen him off lane. I've seen him jungle. I've seen him safe lane farm. And he tends to do pretty well in each of those roles. And he just shuts down so many heroes, as you talked about earlier. He kind of limits what your opponents can pick.
Yep. You know, I'm a little bit surprised, and, you know, you mentioned all of the variety of roles you can run that Doom in. I'm always a little surprised that we don't see more jungle Doom. I mean, with the jungle changes, he's one of the few heroes that I feel like actually won out with the adaptation of the jungle, especially if he wants to go with an ultra greedy build like a Midas. Between Devour and Hand of Midas, he can just gain so many levels.
It's still a little bit slow though. He can't actually like kill them, I guess, with Devour. But like Stout and Quelling, it's still it's slow compared to someone like Enigma. I think it's
I agree.
And Nature's Prophet, it is somewhat creep dependent too. But
Reserve time.
Yeah, I like Doom as a hero.
Yeah.
I think that Iceberg needs to stop buffing him, though. he seriously buffs that dude every patch.
No more armor. Remember that's what happened with Treant Protector. Every patch for like 6 straight patches, Tree got buffed. It's like, oh, by the way, he's broken now. Everyone wins at draft Tree.
Yeah, Doom reduced cooldown by 10 seconds. Now lasts 16 seconds. Now costs less mana. Now with Ag Scepter upgrade, it doesn't come off. And now Scorched Earth buff. I mean, it's just absurd.
Turn to pick.
Well, the draft moving ahead, and we'll see how the frog, and hopefully he's tuned in, as well as our audience here, who's been a great audience, by the way. Many of you have been here all day, so I want to give yourselves a little bit of a clap and a shout because you guys have made this event, the first day of this event, a hell of a lot of fun. And the players have certainly thrived off of that energy as well.
We need the Meepo chant started again,
yes, though. Yes. Yeah, where is that? Come on, guys.
Well, it's not their 5th pick yet.
Yeah, we've got to wait for that, obviously. But we can see Alliance already banning out the Dragon Knight, and Fnatic's going to show us a 3rd pick, Luna.
Alliance's turn to pick.
That's an early Luna pick. And I think they want to counter split push with more push of their own, which is definitely possible with a Luna. Doom, not the best hero doing it, but Venomancer and Luna, just, I mean, very good at applying pressure towers and can push faster than Nature's Prophet, provided that you're not hindered by the lack of mobility that Nature's Prophet doesn't care about.
Yep.
Fnatic's
if there is one issue with that, though, and we saw it in very stark terms earlier today, Luna flat out can get bullied around in lane. Like, if you decide to switch things up.
Is this the return of the Tusk threat?
Exactly. I mean, Alliance has already shown us just how effective it can be to just go something off the wall, make Luna sit back under her own tower, don't let her farm, don't let her soak as much experience as she wants, and by the time you make it 5-6 minutes into the game, even if she's only a level or 2 behind, she is just such a hero that is so farm dependent, and if in the absence of farm, really needs to rely on her ability to split push. If she has no farm and she's under leveled, she just becomes kind of meat. And Alliance actually already has the makings of something that could be used to pressure. Crystal Maiden and Weaver can work very well in an offensive tri-lane, especially if they decide to pick up another very high aggression score.
I'm surprised they pick Weaver, just because Weaver with the Doom, against the Doom, is like, do you really want to do that? I mean, Abaddon can keep him alive, but Weaver is just so hindered with the lack of being able to time-lapse and Shikuchi. I think like a carry like Bristleback is much better suited to being doomed because you don't take that much damage. You can still, I mean, he's still a very tanky hero generally.
5 seconds
there we go.
Remaining.
Let's hear the Meepos.
Yep, I heard one person shout
Alliance's turn to ban.
What if Alliance is Bandit right now?
That would be hilarious, and we might even see it. Puck banned out by Fnatic. No bonus time really left for them, so whatever whatever pick they decide to show us is going to have to come out in due course. And yep, they're going to ban out the TA. So Fnatic, you going to disappoint, or are you going to make folks happy? There it is. We got 30 seconds to go to find out if we're going to have a room full of happy people or a room full of forlorn faces. And look at him grinning. Look at him grinning. We see you. We see you. And that's really not a whole lot else to say. Everyone wants to see Meepo, including us.
They have 12 seconds left.
Yep, 12 seconds.
10 seconds remaining.
Feeling the pressure. You going to do it?
I bet it's hovered over Meepo right now. They're like, do we want to do it?
5 seconds remaining.
They don't got a lot of time. Don't got a lot of time. Slark. Slark's still a fun hero.
Slark's decent against Weaver. Yeah. He is able to pounce on him and just so Weaver can't get away. He is decent versus Nature's Prophet. Doesn't give any flips about Sprout either. But he just didn't perform well the last time I saw him played by Fnatic. He was in the solo off-lane position against a tri-lane and just got wrecked and didn't really do anything the whole game because they 5-man. And Alliance doesn't really have a 5-man strategy this game.
10 seconds
Alliance could pick Meepo.
Yep, we'll see if they want to throw a curveball. But
5 seconds
we'll be a Night Stalker, so looking at the way this is already shaping up, I mean, S4 will be on the Night Stalker, so you know he'll be going mid. Loda's going to be on the Weave with EGM on Abaddon and, of course, Ake on Crystal Maiden. Now, taking a look at what they're up against, No Tail and Fly most likely protecting the Luna. In this situation, do you think we can anticipate some more aggressive tri-lane pressure? I feel like that trio could really cause some problems for those 3 squishies.
Which 3 squishies?
Luna, Veno, and Rubik.
I mean, I think both teams has like fairly squishy lineup though.
Well, it's fairly squishy, but whenever you talk about the Weaver, you know that he's got...
Yeah, Weaver is just so annoying to deal with.
Yeah, and Abaddon there. So you can trade damage and usually come out ahead, plus the survivability.
The 3 heroes, the 3 range heroes with right-click with Lunar Blessing, that is strong.
That is strong. You are correct.
Especially with Abaddon not being able to do anything. Weaver, a limited range hero. I guess Luna is too, but you have those 2 full range supports too. So I don't think that Fnatic will be that underhanded, especially if they're in the safe lane. If they're in a safe lane tri lane, they need to make sure they secure their spawn. Aoi definitely loves his Luna though. That's one of the, like, when I think Aoi playing carry, I think like Lone Druid and Luna as his 2 go-to carries. He does play a pretty mean, like some other carries too, but I think those two are his. If I had to pick two, it would be those two.
It's bread and butter.
Bread and butter. That's the term. That's the term.
We're 1 minute away from the horn blowing. We can see Loda's already making his way into the off.
Look at Doom's set. That is one decked out Doom. Look at
so
those big ass wings.
That is pretty sick. Let's see. Support your local item.
Bulldog,
Go buy
I'm gonna
this
take you
set.
down like a bear.
But taking a look as Fnatic just trying to protect their own jungle. And we see a little treant. That's a cool little treant. I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
Oh, it's the new fungal dude.
Very
Do
sick.
you see Admiral Bulldog? He has a fungal set.
30
Yeah.
seconds
He's a big ass
to battle.
mushroom.
It's pretty sick. I like it.
It's pretty cool.
But the horn gonna blow in just a moment.
Hover over his scythe and tell me what it says.
Scythe.
I totally agree with this, by the way.
Banner. Very nice. Very nice.
Banner.
There it is. The horn blows, and our final game of the night about to get underway. One of these teams will be advancing through our lower bracket. The other
battle
will see their
begins.
run in Season 4 of the D2L, brought to you by HyperX, come to an end. Fnatic and Alliance going the distance. Let's take a look at who's handling who. On the side of Alliance, we've got S4 as mentioned, taking our big blue fella, the Night Stalker, into mid. We're going to have Ake playing on our Crystal Maiden. Loda going to be moving into that off-lane position. He's joined by EGM on Abaddon, and Loda will be on the Weaver, with Nature's Prophet taken to the solo safe lane by Admiral Bulldog. On the other side of the river, we've got Rubik, handled by Fly. We're going to have Venomancer, played by No Tail. Doom, taken mid by Demon. Been a while since I've seen a mid Doom, but it can work and can work very effectively in the right circumstances. AUI on a signature hero of his own. That'll be Luna, farming out of this lane. And Slark, going to be one-on-one with the Nature's Prophet. He'll be handled by Trixie.
And Aki already starting off in the jungle, killing that Centaur, looking to double spawn right now. And he will get it off. Alliance is a little bit on the back foot on top lane, but as long as they don't die, they should be perfectly okay. Demon, yep, I haven't seen that in a very long time either, the mid Doom. It does okay versus a melee hero. It sometimes suffers versus ranged.
Right now, S4 going blow for blow with him, 4-0, or 4-2 to 3-1, so roughly even. What I really want to watch is how effective Loda and EGM can be in this lane. I mean, obviously the kill potential is going to be there once these supports get a level or two. Rubik really wants Fade Bolt before he does much of anything. No point placed by No Tail as of yet, so not a lot of kill potential there until he's ready to place that point. Down in bottom, let's talk about this one-on-one. Slark versus Bulldog. One would imagine this is a situation where Bulldog should be able to thrive.
He does have the Orb of Venom, though, so Admiral Bulldog is going to take a lot of harass right now, and it actually forced the TP out already.
And Trixie banging away, forcing him elsewhere. Fly taking a lot of damage. Quite a bit of right-click from Loda. Loda already level 2, so out-leveling the supports at the very least. Let's take a look at Luna. Luna, though, certainly winning out in this situation more than anyone else. She's already level 3.
Yep, and Alliance is able to utilize the creep pool for themselves too. That's very, very important for them. And they also managed to de-ward this ward too, just because they had this early observer ward, which was due to Loda being able to Shikuchi there early. He actually had to return to the well because he was out of mana from Shikuching too many times.
And we can see they have transitioned Ake up here. Once he hit level 2, 1 point into Aura, 1 into Frostbite. And now trying to find some ways to put pressure on and slow down AUI. AUI just 9 CS. Really, Loda's doing quite well given the situation. He's been in a 2-on-3. He's sitting at 7-3 to the 9-2 of AUI. So I don't think that Alliance is going to mind the way this top lane has panned out so far. Of course, what's going to matter is what they're able to do now that they've dedicated
Trixie
Ake.
On Bulldog.
And Trixie forcing Bulldog out once again. Taking a bit of damage on his own that time, though. And here come the Treants just to be annoying.
Yep. And we see No Tail rotating, maybe looking for a kill. It's just so extremely difficult to get a kill on those heroes, though. Demon just bottle crowing in mid. He does have his magic stick. He does still have those tangos too, not really needing to use them just because it's a CS battle in mid. Both of these heroes have very high base damage too. 72 on the Doombringer, 70 on Night Stalker. And Night Stalker hasn't actually skilled either of his other 2 skill points either, because not knowing whether he needs Max Crippling Fear or Hunter and Knight. I would say you definitely, or he should definitely put at least 1 point in Hunter and Knight, because you get 20% move speed for 1 point, 5% for each of the other levels. But it doesn't really matter because it's not nighttime yet.
Will be soon, only about 15 seconds out. And we'll see how active he wants to be. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see them collapse.
Exchanging blows with Bulldog. This is, I mean, I think a kill could happen in like
at any moment.
Yeah.
Especially if we see a TP eventually. Level almost 5. There's Knight, and S4 going to make a run for bottom. And did put 2 points into Hunter.
It's a haste rune, too. This is really bad for Fnatic.
Up at top, Loda going to be telekinesis, needs a lot of damage, they're going to re-engage. And trying to get the damage on AUI, very low, has to make a run for it, right clicks are there, one more will do it, no! Doesn't have the range, and Bulldog canceled out AUI, able to tango up, and in the meantime, Ake manages to draw first blood behind the fight. Loda going to be healed up, and Ake managing to get a kill on No Tail in the meantime.
S4 trying to pressure Demon,
middle tower is under
not able to
attack.
get a kill. And Stark backed off too, knowing that the rune wasn't top. S4 was heading down there, just too risky for them. And Alliance gets off to a very early start. As soon as nighttime hits, they manage to get a kill, although not due to the help of Night Stalker. I think Admiral Bulldog TP'd him, but it wasn't really necessary.
If he'd have came in, he might have traded himself away, but he probably could have killed AUI. AUI made it away with next to nothing to rub between.
There's a smoke from No Tail. They want to kill Bulldog, but he has TP up in 8 seconds time. He can also just buy a TP scroll and TP out too. So we'll see if this is going to be successful. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and it is up.
And they're going to loop through. Here we are. There's the Gale. Bulldog will immediately TP away. Do they have the damage? They do not. Makes it away to safety. So a bit of wasted time there for No Tail.
Yeah, I mean, Trixie could have just harassed him a couple times. They could have waited until he hit that critical HP range.
Demon in trouble here in mid.
Oh, boy.
Has to have help TP in. That's No Tail. Doesn't have a Gale ready. Doesn't have the mana, but Demon survives with just 100 HP.
He has so much HP. He has 1,000 HP with just a magic wand. Like, that is absurd
Radiant's
strength
bottom
gain.
tower is under attack.
AUI now being zoned out of farm range fairly effectively. Now, honestly, is falling quite a bit behind, sitting at 15 CS to Lotus 30. So the rotation of Ake, once he hit level 2, into this offensive position has worked out magnificently for him.
Yep, he's level 4, and Venomous is still sitting at level 2. And Rubik's level 3.5 too, so Alliance is definitely winning the experience war right now. And Shielded Loda is going for a kill on Aoi.
Chasing him down as the Aphotic Shield still active for about half time. And doing a fair amount of damage. Here comes the rest of the fight. Bulldog's there! With Nature's Wrath plus an auto attack gets the job done, and Trixie trying to get something done in return, but can't find a target.
Demon coming from behind.
Demon right there behind him. In the meantime, Night Stalker manages to get a kill in the front of the fight. Trixie still in some trouble. There's going to be a Sprout on the Demon. Bulldog doing what he can. Trixie still pursued out and using his ulti.
Under attack.
S4 being pursued. The Gale's off the mark, but S4 manages to dodge. Oh, is he going to make it away? Surely not. One more auto attack. Still, it was a one-for-one exchange. Loda continuing to Shikuchi. As that fight got a little out of hand, spread out quite a lot, stretching almost from the tier 1 all the way to behind the tier 2s. In the end, though, Alliance comes out big winners, make it 4-1.
Luna's still level 4 too. No Eclipse. He really needs Eclipse for when these sort of dives happen. And Weaver's almost level 6 too. So this tri-lane was actually a big win for Alliance. Even though they only started off with 2 heroes, I think Aki starting off in the jungle and then rotating once he hit level 2 was a big, big win for them. And yeah, S4 is only 1-1-1, but he has done a lot of work applying pressure to everyone around the map. And Demon was also not able to get a kill with his first Doom of the game.
And we can see AUI still struggling, like you said, a bit under-leveled, sitting at very, very sparse CS, and Loda getting a bit of damage, but here the TP come in. And let's see. They're going to manage to catch EGM. No Tail's right there behind him. Shoots the Gale. They manage to get him, and that'll be a death, most likely, the Aphotic Shield. Didn't buy him nearly enough time. In the meantime, in mid, we see the dive on Doom is effective. Trixie lands in and wants to try and get a reprisal kill.
Oh,
misses with
nice
the lead.
Dodge.
And Trixie swipes at the courier just out of frustration. That's the second time he's missed it. Now, the return as the Frostbite's there. S4 silences him out, and Trixie just doing what damage he can before he ends up falling. 6-2. And
Trixie doesn't have any levels in any points in Dark Pack. If he sees that coming, he can just Dark Pack a silence off and then pounce away. But he doesn't have any points in it. I think it's a little bit greedy to go 2 points in Edson shift.
2-0 on Ake, 2-1 on S4, 1-0 on the Dog. 1-0 on Loda. Could not ask for a better start. The only death Only 2 deaths they have registered are 1 on S4 and 1 on EGM. And EGM even now beginning to catch up on levels. Just hit level 6 and immediately takes borrowed time. He's got help behind him, Loda. Showing up, looks like they don't want to go for a kill, just want to take the farm.
Yep, Abaddon seems to be doing very well versus Doom. He doomed the Nature's Prophet earlier, but just a FNATIC shield, and he just stayed around in the fight. He did not care at all about the Doom. So, and you can't Doom Abaddon either.
Uproot and after them.
I mean, I guess you can, but it's not going to be very effective.
Bulldog now making his way towards a Midas following the FaZe Bassi build. Has his Glove of Haste up, and still a ways to go before he has it ready to roll, and that's one of the weaknesses you're going to run into with the Prophet, especially following the slight
Fly.
Dire's top tower is under
No
attack.
tail going to come in. Fly being dove out. Loda, telekinesis buy some time. Bulldog's there to help out, though. That's going to be a killing spree for Ake. Gale caught 2. Let's see if they can capitalize. No tail's going to end up dropping, and now AUI is left without a port to call his own. There's the Sprout and trying to give vision. The creeps are right on him, and that's not your base, AUI. He is going to go ahead and be finally finished off by Loda. So this early game
Radiant's
going
bottom
disastrously
tower
for
is under
Fnatic.
attack.
They're down 7 kills, 9-2 as we cross 10 minutes in. 5,000 gold separating these two teams with a chance to survive or a chance to go home on the line.
Demon has not been involved in a kill yet, and I don't imagine Doom is a very Demon-esque hero either, and it just doesn't seem to be working out very well for them. Like, you can't Doom the Crystal Maiden. Night Stalker is still going to be just running around super, super fast, and Abaddon can just keep anyone else up. So it's
Radiant's
sometimes
bottom
good. I don't think
tower
Doom
is
is
under
always good. They
attack.
picked it very early, but just haven't been able to make very good use of it. Same with the Slark pick. He's 0-2-1. He did okay in lane versus Nature's Prophet, but he just can't get to the fights fast enough. Admiral Bulldog is everywhere. He hasn't died yet this game, and he's just able to farm up so much while being involved in 6 kills. And Trixie, he's trying to get kills of his own, but just coming up a little bit short.
Trying to find Bulldog. Mass TPs come in. Loda's right on their tail. Demon and No Tail shooed away by the bug as the Nature's Prophet manages to make it back to safety. And coming back to farm. Even had an FNATIC shield just in case. But right now, if you're in Fnatic's shoes, Ben, what's the plan? This game is beginning to slip away from them. They can feel it, and we can feel it.
They need to try and pick off Alliance when they're alone, like either a Weaver farming alone or a Nature's Prophet that's alone. Just Doom and kill if possible. But they haven't been able to get
Radiant's
anything
middle
happening,
tower
or
is
even just
under
eclipse and
attack.
kill. They need a Shadow Blade on Doombringer, I think not a Vanguard, just so they can get the jump on Alliance. Just because
Dire's
Fnatic,
bottom tower
or
is
Alliance has
under
been
attack.
just jumping on Fnatic, like just tower diving top and just kind of running them over.
Demon slowly being whittled down as he brings up the rear
Dire's
of this
bottom tower
retreating
is under
parade
attack.
of Fnatic heroes and Alliance. Looks like they might be ready to hook up. Loda, though, going to move down to bottom and begin to split push while Alliance keeps them busy elsewhere.
So here's the smoke coming out from them, but they smoke onto the reward. Loda will just be able to kill this creep and then TP out and waste their time. So, I mean, Fnatic just being very inefficient around the map right now. He actually may die here.
Doesn't seem too worried about it.
Oh, EGM.
EGM is in trouble. There's the Doom. And borrowed time.
Immediate aphotic shield, or immediate borrow time as soon as he sees him too.
And able to make it away now. Loda going to re-engage, and here's the dog. Sprout, but leapt out by
Radiant's
Trixie. In the
top
meantime,
tower is
Doom
under
manages to
attack.
retreat. And Fly there to help him out. A little bit of a slap on the butt as he sends him on his way back up the lane, but managing to make it away with no casualties on either side. It looks like Alliance though is ready to threaten this tier 1 bottom. Not a lot of HP.
S4
keeping
chasing
it
down
steady.
Aoi on top.
But top, we can see S4 trying to find him. At bottom, the tower will end up dropping. S4 going to spot him out.
Dire's
And
bottom
now
tower
Silence
has
doesn't have
fallen.
Eclipse on the go yet. No Tail's right there. Hits the Gale. And S4 in some trouble. The Eclipse damage going to be massive. Overextending quite a bit. And paying the price for it. Fnatic trying to keep this game going.
That was so important for them to get that kill on S4 and save Aoi. Aoi needs his BKB as soon as possible. 800 gold, not even having his Ogre Club yet. So, he needs to power farm. They need to stack for him if possible. Stack Ancient, stack the big camp. But Alliance has very good vision in there too.
A little bit of a break, it seems, as both teams look to regroup. Check that load in EGM. Moving through bottom lane, EGM with an Invis rune will spot out Fly. And they know where he is. Trixie's right beside him, though. Loda hiding in the woods.
They're just going to burst them down with Nature's Prophet, I think. Nature's Prophet ultimate up in 3 seconds. Here they go.
And here you go. Immediately burst, and here comes Slark re-engaging, and there's the Nature's Wrath. It's actually Abaddon that secures that kill, and Trixie using his ulti, trying to get some return damage done to EGM, but now forced to leap away, and the Urn, and Shikuchi enough to bring him down under his own tier 2. 11-3. Alliance continues to run away with this game early on. 7,500 gold in their favor, 5,000 experience, and all of a sudden, Fnatic feels like they're down to their last breaths.
Yep, Nature's Prophet has his -2. Looks like he also has his Shadow Amulet too. So Admiral Bulldog is getting a little bit out of control too. Weaver has also been left unchecked this whole entire game. There's a TP on top. They are going to kill Aoi. He does have a TP, but it will be stopped by the Void, and another kill for Alliance on a high priority target.
Ake on a dominating streak. He's sitting at 4-0 right now. 3-0 for Loda, 2-1 for EGM, 2-2 for S4, and 1-0 for Bulldog's Prophet. Taking a look at the overall net worth, 3 of the top 4, 4 of the top 5 all belong to Alliance, and we can see Loda continuing to spiral a bit out of control. Doom, the only one in the vicinity. He's doubling right now AUI's farm.
Yeah, poor Demon. Still 0-1-0. I mean, it should be very easy to get a kill with Doom, but just not this game. Just because Alliance has been huddled together so much, so effective as they're a small group, and then just calling in for Admiral Bulldog support if necessary while he applies pressure to other lanes. They're rarely caught out of position alone. I mean, S4 did go for that dive on top, but still, when a Fnatic's on the offensive, it just very rarely they yield a kill.
Continuing to rattle their saber down middle lane at the top. Bulldog continuing to dominate their jungle. He's level 11 already. He is not far at all away from his Shadow Blade being completed.
Trying to find Trixie on bottom.
Good leap. Got him out of some trouble. But it just doesn't feel like there's really any chance for Fnatic.
Yeah, what's their like comeback mechanic?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling too. Is Luna's one of those heroes. I mean, she can farm and she can just get just as nasty in the late game, no matter what path she takes to get there. But
she's good at pushing. They haven't taken down any towers yet.
Exactly. She's good at pushing. She's very, very squishy in the absence of items, and basically you can only rat for so long, and especially against a team that has exceptional split push in the Nature's Prophet and in the Weaver. You're not going to be able to out-split push that when your Luna's this far behind.
And S4 has an Invis rune as well as an Armlet. I think that Fnatic knows that he has an Invis rune, but they are just completely invading the opponent's side of the map. Loda and EGM looking for a kill around the secret shop. They might dive No-Tail right here.
And we can see No-Tail in some trouble, eating a bit of damage. Loda's right there with him, right-clicks him down. Time lapses back, and Demon silenced as soon as he lands. Trixie's right there with him as his fly. S4 going to be telekinesis. There's a frostbite on the fly that's going to force another TP reaction. Demon moving in, finds the Doom, and gets it off on EGM. S4 still there. Here comes Prophet. Treants confounding things, getting things a little mixed up. S4 right on top of Fly. There's going to be a Sprout on the Demon. Can they finish him off? So very tanky, even at this stage of the game. Loda playing very balls out and pays the price. Diving way too far for a relatively low-value Rubik kill. And ends up beating himself, and EGM may end up dead because of it too. Being healed a bit by borrowed time as the rest of his team teleports away. So a nice trade for Fnatic that time around. Alliance getting a little willy-nilly with how they treated that engagement.
Yep, they also didn't have Admiral Bulldog there to help. He has a Shadow Blade now. They could just wait for a couple of items right now, or actually pretty much just a Lincoln Sphere on Weaver, and then he can go balls deep. I'm surprised that he went in that far without the time-lapse up, because Luna hadn't used her Eclipse yet, and that's just so much burst that you're dealing with right under the tower. S4 is invis, sitting underneath Aoi. Nature's Prophet, 3 seconds left on his ultimate, should come out any second now.
Mid, okay. And Nightstalker actually gets a kill on Luna as well. Picking him off in his own jungle. 14-5, and take a look at poor AUI and his struggles. 2-4-2. That just, you can't really have a game like that on Luna, certainly not prior to 20 minutes.
Especially when you're number 6 on the creep score.
Yep.
Getting out farmed, or getting out farmed by the off-lane Slark on your team, as well as the mid-lane Dudebringer, and having half the CS of Admiral Bulldog.
And Bulldog has officially reached the point of out of control. 18 minutes in, he has a Midas Basic Phase and a Shadow Blade, and already another.
It's the mushroom hat.
That's what it is, man. I was going to make a dirty joke, but I won't, because we keep it a PG-13.
Fly and Demon are smoked. Are they going to catch Loda? Nope. Too fast.
And Sentry goes down, but a little bit too late. They're able to scurry away, and Fly manages to get Shikuchi, so at least they managed to come out with a little something nice for their trouble. And as the game has continued, we do see things leveling out a bit. I mean, Alliance continues to roam the map and really just try to strangle Fnatic, and they've managed to dodge
another
it so
smoke.
far. Demon leading the way on this 3-man brigade, has a mech up to go with his Vanguard. Still sitting on tier 1 boots. Gonna have some trouble getting on top of heroes that way. And here we go. Fly
Dire's
using
middle
Shikuchi
tower
to try and
is under
pursue out
attack.
Bulldog. Sentry goes down, and they decide, yep, time to bail. Bulldog in some trouble. Here comes the rest of the team. EGM's the one who's doomed. Bulldog surviving through it at least a little bit longer. Got off the Nature's Wrath. Will not be able to make it back home, but okay, getting the ulti off, just not a full channel. And Fnatic showing signs of life. EGM caught from behind by Slark. Borrowed time, giving it some time, but not nearly enough. That's a 3-for-0 exchange, and that smoke everything Fnatic could have hoped for to hopefully get this game back under some semblance of control.
I'm surprised that Admiral Bulldog tried to TP out right there. I guess he just suspected that they didn't have any sentries, but as soon as he realized his team was just a little bit too far up, EGM got doomed, so he was unable to save him. The mech came out from Aki, but just a little bit too little for them. And Aoi, he might have his drums. He has his drums. He's getting there. And especially with his Aegis going Fnatic's way, if they get it uncontested, which it definitely looks like it's going down fairly fast. S4 is about to scout it out, though. They have Eclipse, though. This is a very bad fight for Alliance to take unless Admiral Bulldog is there with his treants. And here they go.
Loda making his way up from the top side. Roche dropping fast, but not fast enough. S4 caught by Gale. See if they want to pursue it out. Roche still dropping. We see Loda spotted and telekinesis by Fly. Roche is going to drop. And Luna manages to get the Aegis popped immediately, though. S4 could be in some trouble. And Luna's going to be coming up with Eclipse on the ready. And there's a nice sprout on the Demon. Do they have the damage, though? Still very, very tanky. And there's the Eclipse. Ake eating the majority of it. S4 in trouble. Ake in trouble. No! Kept alive by EGM, but only temporarily. EGM likely to end up dead here as well. And there's a deny, managing to kill himself off.
Wow, no kills from Alliance. All they managed to get was the Aegis. So just a series of events just going disastrously for Alliance. And their once 10,000 gold lead is going to be cut down to like 6,000 after this. And that's with a 3... Oh, Loda got doomed too. And Loda's going to die.
Doom in some trouble. Being pursued, and we can hear the enthusiasm of the players on the floor. Caught out, doomed, and brought down. He's out of the game for 42 seconds. Bulldog continuing to just farm away. He's got about 2,000 gold. But I'll tell you what, I said a moment ago, Fnatic was showing signs of life. It ain't just signs of life. It's a full-on screaming pulse. They've cut this lead down just about in half. The experience almost down to the 0 line. In fact, as this tower falls, they will be down below the halfway mark. They have brought this game back within reach.
That one smoke gank over here was just so important for them, and they've just done fantastic at coming back. I thought they were out of it, but never give up hope.
Bulldog just continuing to do what he can. Looks like he's going to be going with an Orchid build. He's picked up one Oblivion staff already. And, I mean, right now, Fnatic, you can't say enough about what they managed to do. I mean, they took some tough losses to lead things off, one game away from elimination, come out and just completely curb stomp Alliance in Game 2. And now in Game 3, feeling like the game was already over, they've managed to turn it around and bring it back within reach. Again, about 5,000 gold, all that separates them in the experience, even closer now. They do still face some problems, though. Doom, the highest farmed hero on their side, and really so far, other than catching Loda that one time, just haven't felt a lot of effectiveness out of Jimmy, just sitting at 2-1-6. But currently catching up is AUI. He's got 7,000 to his name, only 2,500 behind a Admiral Bulldog Prophet who has had a Midas for some time.
And now Loda finally has his Lincoln Sphere. He was just so close, and then disaster struck on bottom after he tower dove into an Eclipse. So just one bad thing leads to another. And here they go, finally with the 23-minute Lincolns. That's a very poor timing, even sitting at 4-2-5 for him. And looks like they might smoke up again. They are kind of gathered up. Aoi actually not going for BKB, just going for the Yasha straight farming build.
And Trixie, even though he's had some nice plays, has largely felt not nearly as effective as you want a Slark to feel in the first 20.
Loda also has he has Lincoln Sphere, but Venomancer almost has his Atos, so Atos will just immediately pop the Lincolns.
Okay, still under cover of smoke. Looks like they're trying to bait something out. It's going to be a hell of a bait because that's a 5-man push with a mechanism. And that's a lot of creeps they got to contend with. Are they going to abandon it? Looks like they will. Falling back entirely.
Radiant structures
maybe looking
are
to do
fortified.
something in mid. S4. Okay. Go to work on these creeps while in the meantime Bulldog split pushes bottom.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Tower kill goes to Doom. And the game rolls on. They managed to take another tower and continue to cut into what seemed to be an insurmountable lead just moments ago.
Loda, doomed out.
Loda in some trouble in this top lane. Kept alive a little bit longer. Bulldogs there to try and help. There's the Eclipse, and EGM might not be so lucky. Pursued out, throws the last heal out on Loda, sacrificing himself to try and keep him alive. They might want to re-engage now, and here's S4 going to work on Fly. The mech's already used. S4 pursuing him out. There's a frostbite on Demon. Demon being chopped down and moving backwards just to try and free up retreat time for the rest of his teammates.
Admiral Bulldog going to get the courier too. Poor Captain Bamboo.
Oh, didn't even see it. Very
Bamboo
nice.
Has been killed.
Catching him out in the jungle, and just such a shame. And this is what good teams do. They'll give you, I mean, even if you beat them for 5, 6, 7 straight minutes, they'll somehow find a way to get all of that back in one swoop, and that's what Alliance just did. They still are in the lead, of course, and Fnatic's still certainly within reach, but that hurts so much. Just all that momentum gone in a whoosh.
Yep. Nature's Prophet has his Orchid now, so Stark is going to be in a lot of trouble. There's nothing that can really save him from himself being Orchid. No Abaddon to shield him. I guess they have a mech out from Doom, but that's about it. Oh, they're going to go gank on bottom. No tail. He has about 5 seconds left on his haste. He's going to TP from behind.
There's Bulldog, and immediately sprouts himself in. Unable to clean him up in time, though. And free Centaur, though, at the very least. In the meantime, here comes the Rod of Aoi. The Rod of Atos finished up on Venomancer as he did manage to escape there.
Aoi just sitting on bottom, waiting for his TP to cool down, and will escape to safety, firing up on top lane. It will have his Manta completed at a fairly reasonable place. It was just after that Roshan, though, he's completely gotten back in this game. He was number 6 on net worth. Now he's number 5, I suppose, but definitely closing the gap. Now he's number 4, just a little bit behind the leader right now. Number 1 on net worth, still Admiral Bulldog by a fairly large margin.
AUI might be under some pressure as S4's made his way up. We see it pinged out.
Regeneration.
And he will go ahead and pull back. Not going to try to dive into the enemy jungle that brazenly. Speaking of the dog, work it done. Another 800 gold in his inventory to begin with, and a lot of farming happening. We'll see what Loda wants to grab. One would imagine a Desolator would be a nice pickup now.
Yep. And Rubik, no initiation item, probably saving it for a Blink Dagger. Stark almost is BKB, so Admiral Bulldog's decently timed Orchid is not going to be very effective, at least not versus Stark.
So far, both teams taking a breather, and for both teams, honestly, exhaustion might be setting in. Not long these guys were on airplanes crossing large oceans. And today, this is their second series of the day in front of a live crowd. Second in a row for Fnatic, as they dropped our second series to LGD, and then back-to-back against Alliance here now. And just taking their time. S4 picking up his Mithril Hammer. BKB on the way. Needs about another 1,300 gold, give or take. And it will be another Mithril Hammer picked up by Loda. Hard to tell, though, if that's going to be a BKB or a Deso. Definitely feel like Deso's right.
Yeah, I think they need a little bit more damage. Luna's still very squishy, 1250 HP. She does have a ton of armor, though, 17 armor. And once she gets her Manta, it's going to be she's going to be even more difficult to kill. And they're just splitting around the map farming right now. Roshan's still not going to respawn for at least one more minute. But Fnatic's just been able to farm during nighttime even. And that's when I think Alliance has a very big advantage with the Night Stalker, with his armlet BKB. They have the Nature's Prophet who can be anywhere with the Shadow Blade and Orchid. I think they should be able to get some picks, but they just have not been able to because they are scared of Fnatic. Scared of getting Doom, scared of Dino Eclipse. And I mean, both teams are just, you know, playing on their side of the river, being very, very scared.
And really not a whole lot more one can say. I mean, we see the Manta style is done on Luna right now. And that courier death actually did a fair amount of damage to Demon, and that he had his boots of travel on the way. And the boots of travel delayed because of that. But
I'm surprised he went that instead of like let's say a Shivas or something like that. I mean, I like boots and travel and all, but not for this type of game where they mostly been fighting as a unit. It doesn't seem as effective. Maybe later, I think it'd be better pickup.
Trixie hiding out, looking to do something cute as his black hole done. Black hole, that's what that's called, a BKB. Done.
I wish I could build an item that would cast black hole.
Exactly. Just call it the black hole. You just drop it on the ground. It's fine.
Roshan's going to respawn very, very quickly, though. This is going to be just like a 40-second respawn, maybe. And Night Stalker's Illusion is going to die right before. Oh, no, he does scout it out.
And we know. Roche is up. And here comes Alliance beginning to converge on the pit. Right now, S4 quite a ways away, though, all the way up in North Beach, hanging out at the top lane, just north of the river. Alliance, though, slowly but surely beginning to kind of cross the river and begin to apply some kind of a perimeter at the very least.
They're trying to apply pressure top, get someone a TP, and then immediately take Roshan for themselves, if possible, or just force the 5-on-5 fight on top. They haven't actually started
Dire's
Roshan yet, and there they
is
go.
under
This is not a
attack.
good trade for Alliance. I would not give them the Roshan for a T2.
And this Roshan dropping relatively quickly. And they're going to take it for free. There's the glyph just to slow them down.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Alliance overcommitting to this.
No, well, they definitely know they're playing Roshan. They had a ward over here, and they knew that all the heroes were in this area. So, yeah, I mean, I get they have to be aware of this trade.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Loda able to make it away as he TPs away. AUI picks up his second Aegis of the game, and AUI is beginning to feel very threatening.
Dire's
Again,
top
in terms of
tower
pure
is
net
under
worth,
attack.
not setting the world alight, sitting at 11,000 compared to, say, Bulldog's
But compared to what he
15.
was before,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
that's huge.
The way he's managed to close the gap between himself and everyone but Bulldog. Bulldog's actually opted to take a BKB here. And, yeah, but the rest of them, Doom, he's almost caught up to Doom, and the Weaver is actually right just a smidgen ahead of him as well.
Yep, Weaver, does he have his item completed yet? Yes, there is the Desolator out, so they finally have some damage. Nature's Prophet not really doing that much damage. I guess he has 200, but I mean, Orchid isn't really seen as his damage item. Shadow Blade and BKB more utility items, but he does actually a ton of damage, 240. That's not a little bit more than Luna.
Taking a look at the levels, we can see that EGM and Ake are both a little bit under-leveled right now compared to the rest of the field. Level 13 for the Venomancer. Level 11 for the Rubik, sure, but Venomancer, played by AUI, or No-Tail rather, has really been looking pretty good. I mean, the Atos, as you said, a great answer for the Orchid, or excuse me, for the Lincolns, and just continuing to add to the overall effectiveness of the team. I really like the patience Fnatic has showed coming down the stretch here. I mean, when you get behind, sometimes it's tempting to just try to do
Dire's
everything at
bottom
once and
tower
make your
is
lead
under
back
attack.
as quickly as you can. Instead, they've just been quite content to just slowly but surely grind their way back to it.
Yeah, Alliance trying to grind their way back into the game too. Gold lead has extended to about 5,000, but that's very marginal, especially considering the ages on Luna too. So 3,700 gold. She's going to have her butterfly like very, very quickly, and screw the BKB. I guess she doesn't need it. I guess she can split out a Crippling Fear for the miss, and there's not really too much else. She can split out a Frostbite too, split out an Orchid, so I guess it's not completely imperative.
Shiva's picked up by Demon, activating a haste rune as well. And let's see if he can find someone. Loda got to be the closest target.
They know that they're there though.
Now we see mid tower being picked, that mid tier 1. The GM in position, and here they come, crossing the river, ready
Radiant's
to take a
middle
fight.
tower is
In the
under
meantime,
attack.
split push out of Ake and S4 up at top. And
Radiant
mid,
structures are
the glyph
fortified.
popped, but they're not going to try to fight it out, at least not right now. So free tier 1 going the way of
Radiant's
Fnatic.
middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Get a little bit of free damage
Dire's
on the
top tower
T3,
is
but
under attack.
only 200. That's pretty marginal. And Stark uses his TP, uses his Shadow Dance to TP out, just playing things safe right now. Admiral Bulldog on bottom, a little bit scared of a gank, but all of Fnatic is in the jungle. Ooh, owie.
AUI gave it away. The Gale off the mark.
There's a gem on Venomancer.
Up, and there's also
He needs a BKB
rod of
TP
Atos.
immediately.
Yep, and that's what he's going to do. Ake decides to get out of dodge as well. So a little bit of a weird dance there, but everyone manages to make it home safe and sound.
Yep. The only way they can stop BKB TP is Doom
Dire's
or a
middle
Bastion
tower
coming up on
is
Sark,
under
which he
attack.
could get in just 200 gold. Demon looking for a kill, but Admiral Bulldog just able to walk away on bottom lane. And they may actually go for him. He doesn't have his TP available to TP out, but looks like he's in a much better fortified position right outside his T2 tower. With a gem pickup on Venomancer, that's going to make Weaver very easy to kill, and it's just going to shut down any sort of vision that Alliance has. And Aegis is going to expire in 2 minutes' time. I don't think that Fnatic is going to be able to actually force a fight, with that. I think Alliance would just be happy to give up a T2 if they don't have to deal with the Aegis.
Clark adds a basher to his inventory. 1, 3, and 5, the performance from Trixie, certainly not what you want. And the team has managed to persevere, and we're actually going to see a straight-out Satanic. So how's that for survivability?
Wow, no Butterfly. That's surprising. I think Butterfly is pretty good here, just because if you... if you're taking a lot of damage from Weaver, you have the Butterfly to give you a ton of armor versus a Desolator. It'll also just, they have mostly physical damage, not that much magical. And sometimes you won't be able to lifesteal up with a Satanic just because of the crippling Fear Mist. So, and some of the targets are pretty difficult to hit, especially if it gets hit in a Sprout. So, they're about the same, I guess. I think Butterfly slightly edges it out, but if he just wants to go for mass HP, it's also nice.
If Loda wants to grab a BKB,
Radiant's
he's
bottom
about
tower
halfway to
is
it
under
now.
attack.
Or he could go for another damage on Fnatic in the meantime, going to pressure this bottom tower. Aegis reclaimed in 60 seconds, so we'll see how they need it. They don't want to use it up the top.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
It's 4 trying to chase some illusions and not a whole lot else.
Oh, they're going to pressure the T3.
Yep.
Howie has how long left on his Aegis? About 45 seconds. So this is actually a really bad time for Alliance to fight.
And Loda doing what damage he can. Lincoln's will be popped. But just look at the damage output from AUI. Just cleaning house.
But look at the T3 on top.
Up at top.
Dire's
Bulldog
top tower
doing a
is
fair
under
amount of damage
attack.
on his own. Going to force the glyph. They're going to
Dire's
fall back mech
structures are
and
fortified.
immediately TP home. So another big exchange going the way of Fnatic there. They take a tier 2 and get a lot of free damage on this tier 3.
Yep, Slark has a Basher now. I'm not exactly sure why Nature's Prophet got a BKB. I don't think it's been used yet. Yep, it's still at 10 seconds. It's not that useful, I think, versus Fnatic's lineup. Yeah, sure, maybe he can get rid of Venomous Gale and Poison Nova and Eclipse, but he might need that slot later pretty soon. His Orchid also hasn't been very useful too. I think like a Sheep and a damage item, or even Necro 3 to help push the towers.
Trixie did that about as poorly as he could have. Tried the TP away, uses BKB at the last second, and died immediately, basically. So not only dying, but wasting a BKB charge at the same time.
Yep. Alliance definitely looking for a fight right now. The Aegis has expired and Slark is down. This is the perfect time for them to get a pick and get an advantage in this game. Their gold lead has extended to only 3,000. Oh, Demon is scouted out. I don't think they should fight here. This is going to be pretty scary for them. Weaver is going to TP in. They want to join the fight. S4 looking for initiation.
And BKB pop. Demon going to be the target. Trying to get the Void off, and the silence leads things off. Out behind it, Bulldog coming in to do what damage he can. Nope, No Tail's going to make it away with no stun to interrupt. Demon hustling away. He had a haste rune in tow.
Wow.
So he's going to.
This is why he needs a Sheep. He can't stop TPs. He has his Orchid, but it's useless. It's useless versus what's going on right now.
And Alliance able to, at the very least, run Fnatic out. But now it's a question of what can they accomplish with that marginal victory. In fact, here in mid, AUI and Demon are just standing shoulder to shoulder, finding their farm. Another 3,400 gold in AUI's inventory. He can go ahead and buy
Radiant's middle tower
Eagle Song
is
right
under
now on the way
attack.
to a butterfly if he feels like it.
Yeah, if they get the Sheep on Demon there, they get the gem, and that's a huge boon for Weaver, who has not had the
bottom
best
tower
game
is
to
under
death
attack.
to his name. Oh,
Radiant
looks like they
structures
are
are
going for a kill.
fortified.
Yep, Fly leaping after Alliance and force staffing, I should say. And now EGM doing what damage he can, but
Dire's
borrowed
bottom
time.
tower has fallen.
Living up to its namesake as he actually commits suicide again.
Wow.
That's what.
Yeah, what in the world? That's, that's
That's
the
the
second
third
time. That's like
time.
really difficult to pull off.
That's the third time today, isn't it?
S4 in a little bit of trouble. He can BKB TP out, but Trixie may get another bash. And, both teams just kind of dancing around the map right now. T3's damaged on Radiant bottom as well as Dire top. Roshan going to be the next hot point of contest. Looks like it's going to respawn in a little over a minute's time, or actually right around a minute's time. And I think that Fnatic has enough map control and enough items in their inventory to take that out right now. Nature's Prophet, his items are like okay, but it's mostly used for split pushing utility rather than straight 5-on-5 fighting.
Radiant's
whereas
Aoi
with the Satanic and almost Butterfly right now and Manta and Drums is a beast in these team fights.
Taking a look at Lotus Weaver, Lincoln's Deso, he has his Demon Edge up. We'll see when he wants to tack onto it. The MKB already picked up by teammate Admiral Bulldog. His damage output is considerable. He's hitting for about 350-ish, 330, 340-ish.
This is such a close game right now, though. Like, insanely close.
Especially given how bad it was. I mean, look at how ugly this game was at one point, and Fnatic reaching down deep and managing to...
There's a Roshan. This one's going to be the cheese, too. They can take it down very, very quickly, especially with the DD up on Demon. He does not actually have the Alpha Wolf aura, but it doesn't look like they need it. And Alliance is heading up top, but it looks like they have no clue. This is going to be another free Roshan for Fnatic.
Moving elsewhere. That's all Cuirass done, but this is going to hurt a lot. Losing the Aegis and the cheese both at the same time. And a ton of momentum while we're about it. Yep, Luna manages to grab it, takes the cheese and the Aegis.
Middle tower is under attack.
Picked up by Luna. And they're, yeah, let's see, was it Doom? Yeah, I think it was Doom that picked up the cheese.
Trixie maybe going for a solo kill on Admiral Bulldog on bottom, but he has no reveal. There's no way he's going to be able to kill him unless he just messes up his Shadow Blade.
Nope, able to Shadow Blade away. Very quick reaction timing coming out of Bulldog. And nice attempt, but no cigar. No Tail has 2,200 gold to his own name. And anxious to see what he wants to pick up. There's the MKB done, second one on the side of Alliance. Picked up on the Weaver, so he's hitting considerably hard as well. So the damage beginning to catch up a little bit, especially when you consider that S4 has armor reduction of his own with the Assault Cuirass.
Fnatic wants to push out the lanes and then just TP bottom with the BOT on Demon and then get that tower. That's what they need to do. They need to get a Rex fairly shortly, especially when they have this big an advantage. The gold lead is around 6,000, I think, for Alliance, but with a Butterfly almost complete on Luna in just about 150 gold, plus the Aegis of the Immortal, I think they can easily just brute force that Rex.
Alliance continuing to spend more and more time together. Four-manning around the map while they just let Bulldog do his own thing. And certainly nothing wrong with that. We can see Fnatic is looking to make something happen at bottom, and no one taking the bait, at least as of yet. Bulldog might be susceptible soon, though. That's getting to where he will usually want to TP in and start taking farm. Loda, in the meantime, farming up safely at top. He will spot some
regeneration.
Not the biggest deal in the world. Coming down the stretch here, we just went past 40 minutes, Ben. We're leveled off at 6,000 gold advantage for Fnatic, or excuse me, for Alliance, and 7,500 experience, so we are beginning to see that open up a bit. Give me in a few sentences game plans for 40 to 60.
I think that Fnatic needs to get a pick and or just five-man push bottom with their lanes being pushed out and get that Rex as soon as possible. They have full Roshan control. They had it for the third one. They had it for the second one. There's no reason that they shouldn't have it for the fourth one too. So use the Aegis, use the cheese, maybe force a few buybacks from Alliance. And what does Alliance need to do? They need to get picks. They need to get this, take the gem away from Fnatic. They need to kill one of the heroes without Aegis, without suffering that many losses on their own. They need to try and force a buyback or two out of Fnatic. They need to try and make them feel scared because they're just free farming wherever they want to, and without a sheep up on Nature, I think this Orchid pickup is one really big mistake by Alliance there. If they had a sheep, the game would have been a lot different, and he's turned his Midas into a sheep, and now he's six-slotted, or not technically not six-slotted, but pretty close.
Pretty damn close. And here we go. Alliance thinking about rushing out. AUI still has the Aegis, pops the Manta. Tier 3's down, they managed to get the Doom off onto EGM. Let's see what Fly managed to steal, but in the meantime, damage being done on both sides, they're able to mech through it. That's a Photic shield he managed to steal. Here comes the Eclipse. BKB's going off on both sides. It's a time lapse. Good poison Nova though. Loda will be tracked down. And No Tail credited with that kill. Now Bulldog in some trouble.
Loda doesn't have buyback for like 15 gold.
That's going to be 3 down at Fnatic. Are you kidding me? Coming in, staunch underdogs, they take a huge lead, and they're going to try the throne! They're going for the throne! Demon leading the charge! And there's the buyback on Loda. Will he be able to stop this? Tier 4s are down. Are they going to sell out? They are. AUI laying into it, and they managed to bring it down again. Fnatic laying into the Ancient. A team no one gave a chance, and they pull off the upset. Dropping 2 games in their first series in ugly fashion, coming into the second series, an elimination set. They drop game 1, all but written off, and instead they bounce back and take a 2-1 win in one of the most thrilling best of 3s I've seen in quite some time. What a performance, Ben.
Yeah, that was quite the comeback, and they just showed a lot of resilience throughout that whole entire game. And I mean, Aoi was just so far behind. Demon hadn't participated in a kill until like 15 or 20 minutes. He was also very far behind, and things were just looking absurdly bad for them. And just 1 or 2 team fights, and then a couple of Roshans, and they're right back in the game. So very well played by Fnatic.
43 minutes, 38 seconds. Again, a team that came in with 2 stand-ins. I mean, very talented players in Demon and AUI, but the way they looked, totally. I mean, just what a metamorphosis we saw from the beginning of today until the end of today in this team. And at this point, I mean, they've got to be riding on such an emotional high. They're going to be coming into tomorrow's series a real threat, and I think anyone that underestimates that is going to end up paying a very, very big price.
Yeah, I mean, it was no doubt that Demon and Aoi has the individual talent. It's just whether a question of whether or not they could mesh well with their team. And these last 2 games, they definitely picked up the pace. And it's not only that they mesh well with the team, it's that the team like supported this space for them, at least in the second game, letting Shadow Fiend farm, and then this game just you know, completely taking control of the map and creating a lot of space for Aoi to get back in the game.
Well, another day in the books. This time, though, it's our next to last day. The D2L rolls on. Day 1 of our grand finals behind us. Day 2 kicking off tomorrow. Same time, we'll be leading things off around noon. Before we do that, we've got the winners, the upset masters, on stage with Anna Prosser. Anna, take it away.
There are a lot of stunned faces looking at me from this crowd. What a final match, huh? Yeah. Thank you, the proud, who have stuck with us this long. Good job. Well, without further ado, let's bring back up Fly, have a chat with him, and let's hear it one more time for Fnatic. Fly, you came into this with 2 stand-ins. I think it's pretty clear that maybe Alliance didn't expect what they saw, and maybe you didn't even expect what you saw. How are you feeling right now?
Feels great. We had no idea what's coming, really. We were just we lost the first game pretty badly. Or really badly, and after that we were pretty beat, but the second game we were like, okay, let's just pick what people like to play. And then Demon says, I like Shadow Fiend, it's my favorite hero, so like, sure. Like, we had nothing to lose at that point so much, and after we won, we got a lot of confidence back, so we were able to pull it out.
So, you know, you mentioned that you hadn't gotten to practice together. I know Demon was saying, you know, I've never played with these guys really before. Was it, you know, were those few matches that you had today all it took, or did you just find some sort of click, or was it random chance?
I think it's a lot of things. First of all, the more we play, the better we get together. Plus, we know Alliance better than we do the Asian teams, so it's sort of easier for us to, like, against their playstyle, to sort of, you know, get a better idea. But yeah, of course, it helps the more we play.
In these particular matches, what weaknesses were you able to exploit in Alliance, knowing them a little bit better than most?
I don't think we exploited anything too much, really. We underestimated their Wisp again, because we got punished hard by it. And after that, we pretty much, the second game, I think they made a crucial mistake in the draft by giving us like Alchemist and TC together, which is completely ridiculous. And then the third game, I think they had the good start, but they made one like big mistake, and then we were able to turn it around. Plus, we had the dire advantage. So, like, I don't think they played bad necessarily. We just a few crucial mistakes can lose the game easily.
Yeah, and they were great games to watch. Moving on to tomorrow, you guys will be playing the loser of either VG or LGD. Do you have a preference of which one you'd like to play that you hope will be coming down to join you in the second chance bracket, as we call it?
Seeing as how our games went today against LGD, I'd like to play them again.
All right, fair enough. Well, thank you so much. Let's give one last round of applause for both teams. Thank you guys so much. And that wraps up our broadcast for the night. Thank you so much to everyone who's here in the audience. You guys are fantastic. And everyone who tuned in on stream, we really appreciate it. We are getting started again at noon tomorrow. Doors here will open at 11 and matches will start at noon. So I hope to see you guys there. Thanks very much. And make sure to thank our sponsors. They made this possible. Let them know that you love them because they support what you love. Thanks and have a great night, guys.